Welcome aboard and thanks for tuning in to the ninth episode of Parthenon Particles brought to you by Athena Vision. I'm your guest host, Jeremy Manning, stepping in while our usual host that sets our course, Joseph Fugate, is away on a special assignment. How long will he be gone? Well, Starfleet's being a little vague, but the word is it'll be at least until after the start of the year. We trust he'll return soon, though, ready to reclaim the con with a fresh energy and insights. Though I did come across something curious. While reviewing the post departure reports, I noticed the cleanup crew found a black badge in his quarters. It's a little strange. I've never seen one of those before, but anyway, this episode is packed with stellar content. Our special guest is Teena Godwin, a seasoned cosplayer, lifelong Star Trek fan. She's bringing a warp core full of tips, tricks, and all kinds of ideas for cosplay enthusiasts. We'll dive into the latest Star Trek news and upcoming Athena events, so grab your tricorder, set phasers to fun, and let's engage. Okay, guys, so our first bit of news is coming from the rumor mill. Actor Scott Bakula has resurfaced with interest in reprising his role as Jonathan Archer during his years as the president of the Federation of Planets. This TV show so far has been described as a political thriller and family drama focusing on diplomacy, ethical dilemmas, and the early chaos of the Federation. This is a really fascinating pitch for me. I really hope the show turns out to be a true thing because I'd love to see the formation of the Federation and how we get all the founding planets to work together. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I hope that this moves forward. The next piece of news is coming from IDW Comics. I really wanted to point this one out because I'm a big comic fan here recently. Star Trek: The Last Starship. New series coming out next month. The logline for the series is the Federation has fallen, hope is fading, one last starship remains to fight for the future unless a resurrected James T. Kirk dooms it first. This is a really exciting piece for me. I'm really curious to see where they're going to take this story. Sometimes, like, a little bit of information is a lot to get me excited. So keep an eye out for that. Okay, guys, let's talk about some new recruits as well as some Athena events coming up. Starting with the new recruits, Ben C. Redding, Joe Waltz, Denise Joseph, Catherine Stewart Groth, and John Sestito. I do hope I pronounced those names correctly. Welcome aboard, guys. I can't wait to meet each and every one of you. I can't wait to have so much fun, learn more, and talk more about Trek with you guys. Hopefully in some of these upcoming events, such as Trek Trivia Zoom, Wednesday, August 20th, hosted by Joseph Fugate. USS Athena will be at DragonCon, one of my favorite events of the year, August 29th through September 1st. Kathy and Ryan will be there presenting panels. Guys, their content is spectacular. Please make sure that you do catch their panels. Love their stuff. They'll be talking about their podcast and just Star Trek in general. Athena members will be in the parade Saturday morning. I will be walking with them. I can't wait to see you there. Also, Athena members, you are asked to meet up at the large Hilton Steps on Sunday, 12:50 p.m., right before the big Star Trek group photo shoot. That way we can have our own photo shoot with the Athena group photo. Can't wait for that. Looking forward to that. This will probably be the uniform I'm wearing. Haven't decided yet. Meet up at Jeremy and Miranda's on October 19th. I think I know that Jeremy guy. It's probably me. Again, October 19th. This will be a combined event with Starfleet International. The USS Werner von Braun out of Huntsville, Alabama. That is the first ship I joined. I love each and every one of those people. Star Trek has such an amazing family with their fans. Can't wait to see you guys there. It's going to be a little Halloween party. Just show up and have a good time. Uniforms are requested but not necessary. Thursday, October 23rd is the annual Walk for Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. Starbase Indy, November 28th through 30th. I hear so much about Starbase Indy. I can't wait to finally make it out there. I need to plan to do that. Hopefully this next year I'll be able to work that out. Members Joe Waltz and Lisa Boswell will be getting married. Guys, congratulations. The best decision I ever made. Kathy and Ryan will be the guests presenting panels there. The big Starfleet command meeting is held there every year, which will also be live streamed. That's going to be some amazing stuff. I hope to get some shots of this wedding. That's going to be great. Also, Saturday, December the 6th, is our annual Christmas party at the home of Lieutenant Commander Phil Barnes. Phil's a fantastic guy, and I remember he makes a mean hamburger too. So, can't wait for you guys to show up there and spread some Star Trek holiday cheer. Okay? Please check out the Facebook group for more details on all these upcoming events. It'll all be posted there, okay? Now we're going to move on to our special guest, Miss Teena Godwin. And we're going to learn a little bit more about DragonCon, that event that I love so dearly. Can't wait to see that. And maybe she can help us answer some questions about cosplay. And the most important question about Labor Day weekend, how do you DragonCon? All right, guys. So here we are with Miss Teena Godwin. I've really been looking forward to interviewing her, and she's going to tell us so much stuff about Star Trek, and she's going to tell us so much stuff about cosplay. Teena, how are you doing tonight?
I am doing great. How about yourself?
Oh, never had a bad day. Never ever had a bad day. So, tell me a little bit about your history with Star Trek.
Ooh, that my dad actually got me into the original series, of
Mm.
course. So that was my first love, the original series. And then I kept watching it, in reruns, and still loved Mr. Spock and all the little kooky characteristics that they all had. And as a teenager, the Next Generation came out, and so I was madly in love with Data, and I don't know why. It's a robot.
Hey, these some parts we get it.
Mhm.
It just
But it could have been just Brent Spiner. I don't know. He was a great actor. He still is a great actor.
this is true. This is very very true. Okay, so cool. So you're part of the Athena. How
Mhm.
did you come across the Athena?
I think we had just kind of been in different cosplay, groups that just kind of happened to meet in passing several times. And of course,
Hmm.
I've always been a huge Star Trek fan, and I always wanted to be in a Star Trek group. And I didn't even realize that there was one. And I talked to them, and it's like, so what are you guys doing? Are you a Star Trek group? And they're like, yeah, you should join us.
Yeah.
So a little later on, I had seen Ryan and Kathy again, and said, you know what, I think I really want to join.
Okay.
So they were amazing as usual,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
that's how I started. It was just we kind of bumped into each other at a couple of conventions and things like that.
Yeah. They're absolutely a fantastic couple. Yeah, I ran into
Yeah.
them at Huntsville. Huntsville Comic Expo, if I'm not mistaken, and the funny thing is, I kind of recognized them from just being out and about,
Hmm.
and then they approached
Yeah,
us and just started talking. They're an amazing couple. They really really are. Okay,
they are. They're very, very dedicated to Star Trek and their Athena Club.
absolutely. So, what do you like most about the Athena?
Ryan had told a story about he had a friend who was a Star Trek fan, and then the Star Trek fan moved away, and he was very sad.
Hmm.
And I think that's probably what it was. I enjoy the friendship, and sometimes it's hard to make friends as an adult
Sure.
because you're just kind of moving in different circles, and you might meet people that you work with and things like that. But it's very fun to just have a group of people who are very like-minded
Mm.
and like Star Trek, and you've got endless things to talk about. And yeah, just getting together, and the Athena is just like the best group of people
Hmm.
ever,
Very
and
much.
I really enjoy it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I agree. They've been a lot of fun. I've not really had a lot of time to really spend with them here lately because I just recently moved to Tennessee,
Mhm.
as you know, and I've been trying to get to them every chance I get. But it's been a really really great experience so far.
Mhm.
So, all right. So one of the main topics that they wanted to discuss was cosplay, and you're already in this
Mhm.
lovely red uniform from the original series.
Yes, let me
So,
see if I can. This is
so
actually the one I use for my Maress costume, so
yes, I've seen you in
might
your
see me in
Morris.
ears with this costume.
So you do a really, really fantastic job. What drew you to cosplay? Like, what was that like? Did you have an experience like where you had to like get brave enough to do it, or was it like the first time you saw someone like I need to do that too?
Well, actually, it started with my love of Halloween and my love of dressing up. And my
Hmm.
mother told me that she used to have to buy me two costumes for Halloween because she would get one early, I would wear it and wear it out, and then she would have to buy another one for Halloween.
Uh huh.
So that's where my love of costumes probably first started, was Halloween.
I got you.
And my dad was really big on special effects makeup, and he could make special effects makeup out of really, really cheap around the house things, toilet paper and white glue and my mom's makeup, you know.
That's
And
cool.
of course, then I started being in plays and things like that, and I did some fundraisers, and so that's kind of what got me into. Well, like I said, I've always been to plays, love to cosplay,
Hmm.
really wanted to do it. And the faraway land of Nashville was having a couple of conventions. So I went with some friends and it was wonderful. And I went to my first Star Trek convention and was blown away and loved it.
Right.
And I went as a Klingon actually that first time.
Wow.
And
Okay.
so I really liked making costumes
Hmm.
and doing the special effects makeup, and yeah, I can spend any amount of time doing doing the special effects makeup. Love
Sure.
it.
Yeah. That's really, really cool. Is there a particular cosplay that's your favorites?
Well, it's definitely got to do. I think the main one is probably the Andorian, and
Hmm.
we all met on a corner at DragonCon dressed in Andorian.
We did, and I do remember at the Miss Star Trek Universe pageant at DragonCon, and I'm going to get more into
Mhm.
DragonCon a bit later. And I think I had just got off stage at the Miss Star Trek Universe pageant, if I'm not mistaken, and my wife was dressed up as an Andorian, and you were too.
Yeah, and
It's
well, actually, I think that we met, and then we ended up headed in the same direction,
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we
and
were going in the
that's what
same
it was. And
place.
then because one of my friends, oops, sorry about that close up, I had unplugged my phone.
You're okay.
Um, this is just the chaos that comes with my life.
It's all
But
right.
one of my dear friends, Sherry, was in the Miss Star Trek pageant and did a wonderful job as a Ferengi lady.
Oh yeah, yeah, she was great. Um,
And so I think that that's what we're doing. And then Glenn, the main Klingon who does the MC
uh,
for the, I think it's Glenn. Is it Glenn? Darren.
is it? I'm not sure
I
actually.
cannot. He's the MC that always dresses like a Klingon, and he is
Uh-huh.
wonderful.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
he always pulls us from the crowd and says,
Uh-huh.
"Hey, you want to do, the little. It's the little time slot before everyone is ready to do
Hmm. The
the
Kayla.
pageant."
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Callis says.
Yeah,
And then
absolutely.
you guys were armed with batleths and tried to kill me a couple of times. And
Right. And then it's incredible the kind of stuff that cosplay can do and how it can transform
Mhm.
somebody because then you and I later met later at this Mexican restaurant and I remember that awkward stare at each other. It's like you were like, I've seen that
Yeah.
beard somewhere before.
Well, and I was like, and then when Miranda said something, I said, I know these people. How do I know these people? And then Ryan had said, Tina is our resident Andorian, and we just all three looked at each other and went,
I know
it's
who you are
Dragon
now.
Con.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So DragonCon is coming up in at the
Mhm.
time of recording 12 days. Are you excited for
Ooh.
it? Yeah, and
Yeah,
I
we're
think
hitting the con crunch.
oh yeah, I think we all are. And the intro part of this video, I mentioned that one of my favorite questions is for Labor Day weekend. I'm going to ask you is how do you DragonCon? Tell me a little bit about your history with DragonCon and like how does that work for you?
Well, the very first year of Dragon Con, or the very first year that I went to Dragon Con, I realized that there was no way I was going to get to everything that I put on my schedule.
That's the first lesson of Dragon Con. You're not going to do
That
it
is the
all.
first lesson. And comfortable shoes. Comfortable
Yes.
shoes, Uber, Lyft,
Uh-huh.
taxi,
Gotcha.
the bus route, and realize that you are not going to get to all the things that you want. See,
No,
And
you're right.
you have to kind of pick and choose. And last year, I really wanted to see John Cleese from Monty Python and get my picture made with him. So I basically scheduled my whole day around that.
Gotcha.
And so yeah, that was incredibly fun. But I think I missed about half the day's worth of things that I actually wanted to do, but totally worth it.
I gotcha. So I want to again kind of tie the cosplay back into that as well.
Mhm.
Like, so you know, I've seen a lot of the work that you've done, and it's incredible stuff. Like again, it's transformative.
Thank you.
I don't recognize you sometimes. um, what's it like? Like transporting this stuff across state lines. Like, do you put it in just like giant? I do containers like totes. Like these
Mhm.
giant totes and containers. Is it difficult for you? I mean, do you have a system for that?
Not really. It's just a lot of times I have the things that are packed in the containers that just stay in there until the
Mhm.
next DragonCon. And of course, things that are washable, they go in the laundry and then they go back into the costume. Some of them are in dress bags, and then some of them are, like I said, in totes, and some of them that are made with a lot of thermoplastic are.
Mhm.
You have to be careful when it's 101 degrees in Georgia and you got some thermoplastic props.
That's fair. Yeah, because this stuff can melt. Georgia gets hot, especially around Labor Day weekend. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when you're there, kind of walk me through like some of your like some of the favorite cosplays that you've had. Because I'm gonna start showing some on the screen as you
Okay.
talk about some of these guys, and I just want to hear like some of the difficulties, or some of the ideas, or some creativity that you've had while making some costumes.
I think probably my number one that I always go back to is the Andorians.
Yes. Hmm.
And I've come across a couple of different ways to do the Andorian. Usually I wear static antenna, which is just a headband that's underneath my regular wig.
Uh
It's
huh.
just kind of usually like shoulder length ish. And I have like some small latex antenna that I had made. I had made a form, a mold, and then just use slush latex, which is just paint the latex in layer by layer by layer.
Right.
And then I put like springs and wool on the inside so they'd be flexible.
Hmm.
And then I made a larger pair out of foam clay. That I really do like the foam clay. It does have its advantages and disadvantages. It
Uh
shrinks
huh.
about a little bit, like maybe a fifth when it's
Gotcha.
dry, but it works just like EVA foam after it's dry. And then I have one set that is actually mobile, and they are built out of the sound activated fox ears.
Sound activated
And
fox
they have a
ears.
giant box on the top. Yeah,
Uh huh.
there's a giant, like where the motor is located. It's on the top of your head, on the top of this headband. So I
Okay.
have to have a pretty substantial wig whenever I have those on. And the
Okay.
looks that I get, people will look at me first and they'll go, "Whoa, wait." And it's like they have to take a double take, triple take, and then they just go, "That's weird." And
Right.
when you talk to Jeffrey Combs, he says basically it's the same thing. Those things freak people out when they
They freak
move.
people out. Yeah, I get
Yeah.
that. Yeah, that's amazing. So, outside of Star Trek, like, what are some other cosplays that you enjoy doing?
Well, I done actually. I really like Helger or Hellboy with Ron Perlman.
Okay.
The big lovable oaf kind of, thing. And I was
Yes.
like, you know what? I love Ron Perlman. I love this version of Hellboy. So I'm going to see what I can do. So
Hmm.
I kind of fashioned, just kind of took some pieces that that were probably going to Goodwill and put them all together. And just decided to keep adding over the years and make a Hell Girl costume.
Hmm.
And so that's a lot of red paint, by the way.
I can imagine. Yeah, I can imagine
And
that's
I
a
had
lot. Yeah.
done, I said, well, if I do this, I have to make the right hand of doom.
Hmm.
So I just got out like a work glove and a lot of red paint, some EVA foam, burning tools, lots of, X-Acto knives and things like that, and created the right hand of doom. It's not quite as big
Uh-huh.
because I wanted to be able to to make it through the convention and actually pick up things. and
I
and
see.
look
Yeah,
at it because
yeah.
you got to buy stuff at the convention.
Absolutely. Yeah, 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 absolutely. I spend quite a bit. My wife and I, Miranda and I both do. Uh, so, when you're in these costumes, can you tell me about? Is there a specific interaction that you had with someone that did? You say these people like stop and they double and triple
Mhm.
takes. Do you remember one that like stands out to you that like you really just made an impact on someone?
Absolutely. It was one of my first conventions that I had gone to dressed up as in a costume that I actually had made. And I made body armor, the cape, mask, everything. And it was Batwoman.
Okay.
And there was a little girl in a pink tutu and a pink and black Batgirl shirt. And she said, "Hey, Batgirl, I'm Batgirl too. We're cool." I'm like, "Yeah, we are. We are very cool." And
That's really good.
I thought that was wonderful. And then that same day, a young gentleman came up to me and he was apparently nonverbal and
Mhm.
he showed me his phone, like, and the camera was on, and he showed me like he wanted to take a picture of me.
Right.
And there was another guy with him, and I don't know if it was his dad or what, but I said, "How about if he takes a picture and we're together?" And he
Oh,
was just like, his eyes just went really wide. And of course, I kind of hugged him up and we were taking our pictures together. And he was just, every time I made around that floor, he hugged me again.
uh,
And it was absolutely the best. And I know that a lot of times, you're walking around and people just don't pay any attention to you. You put on
sure.
a costume, you're the character,
Yeah.
and people will
Mhm.
recognize you and they'll talk to you and they'll say, "Oh, that's a very cool costume." I said, usually if it's a cosplayer, they go, "Oh, hi, that is a wonderful costume. Did you make
Yeah. There you go.
it?"
Yeah.
That's always like
Uh,
the second question. And, if not, where'd you get it? Or did you have it,
sure.
commissioned?
Mhm.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's always a good time. Miranda, last year for DragonCon did Kai win, and she did
Oh,
not.
yes.
She did not expect
She
that
is evil.
costume to get like attention outside of the Trek area. But it was all over the convention. People were just shouting her out, and
Yes.
people looking at her with like sudden rage, but like that's a good thing. You're just like I looked at you and I
That
was
is
instantly
when they
angry.
recognize you.
Yeah.
When they
So
recognize you and are just filled with fury because
because you did such a
Louise
good job.
Fletcher did such a good job of making that character
Fantastic.
horrible.
Yeah, that was fantastic. Wow.
Yes.
Okay. Well, Tina, do you have anything else you'd like to add or anything else you'd like to discuss?
I mean, I can give you some really good ideas on some budget cosplay and
That
how to make
let's
some
hear
different
it.
stuff out of,
Yeah. Yeah, let's
everyday
hear
stuff.
it.
Well, I'll tell you what, the horn stumps for my
Okay.
Hellgirl costume. Those are actually made from makeup rounds, the little sponge makeup
Oh
rounds.
yeah. Yeah.
And I put latex all over those, painted them red, did like some weathering, some air, not airbrushing, some just dry brushing on it,
Mhm.
and stuck those on with, I think, spirit gum. Sometimes I use spirit gum, sometimes I use lash glue,
Mhm.
sometimes I use Prozac, just depends.
Okay.
And then just paint them into my forehead, and usually they do really good because they're kind of rounded a little on the bottom.
Mhm.
And so I get more comments on that. How did you make the horn stomps?
Gotcha. Yeah, because it's the creativity is just amazing. You can go and buy a uniform offline. This is one I purchased.
Yeah,
The
I
badge,
purchased this one.
yeah, the badge was something I bought. But then like you start getting into the creativity of things. You talk about using the makeup rounds. I will go
Hmm.
into I've discussed it at length. Just taking my pips off here. Like I do 3D printing, and these are fully 3D printed right here with magnets.
Yeah, your
So
3D
that's
printing is amazing. Yes,
yeah, it's getting better. Like
it
Ryan,
looks great.
I think a running joke between Ryan and Kathy and I are these pips. I've been trying to master getting these things to glue correctly, and like the magnets. And every set I've gave them has fallen
Hmm.
apart. And I gave them another set. I'm like, I think that's right. And then I went home and I tried them, and they started falling apart that day. So we're gonna have a conversation later about that. But I think I've found a new way, which
Two-part
is
epoxy and rare earth magnets.
yeah. Oh, we got a guest here. Miranda's swimming by here, but yeah, a two-part epoxy is really good. I'm using JB Weld, and that has like I think that done it. I think that finally
Oh,
done it. Yeah.
good. Yeah.
So yeah, there's all
Yeah,
kinds of things
sometimes
that you can
you
do.
have to know what the yeah, sometimes you kind of have to, and I've got a whole drawer full of different types of glue
Yes.
because not every glue will work with whatever it's made out of. There's some glue that will eat plastic. There's some
Yes,
glue
this is
that
true.
won't work on glass. There's some glue that won't work on foam, and it's with EVA. I mean, sometimes you can use hot glue on EVA.
Right.
Sometimes
You
it's
can.
contact cement.
Hmm.
It just
I
depends
gotcha.
on what you're doing with whatever said thing, and it's always trial and error.
Gotcha. All right then. Well, say I really appreciate that. Yeah, that's some really really good advice. Is there anything else you'd like to share for us before we
No,
what's that? All right. Well, Tina, I really
just
appreciate you.
find me at DragonCon or at one of the conventions I go to, and we'll chat about Star Trek and
Yeah.
costumes and everything else.
Absolutely. That sounds great. Well, Tina, I really appreciate it. You've been fantastic, and again, I look forward to seeing you at DragonCon and future Athena events.
Yes, definitely. See you there.
All right then. All right, you take care.